Hi guys, welcome back to Finding Your Indie. I'm Bonnie Paulson, and today we are covering Amazon attribution link conversion. We're going to actually be talking about how to calculate this. I'll be walking you through the process of calculating this and why it's so important. We'll be talking about that as well. Let's talk about that first. This is a crucial skill for you to know if you're trying to optimize your Amazon advertising efforts. If you're trying to optimize your advertising efforts anywhere else, but you're trying to lead them to Amazon, if you are like in Kindle Unlimited or you're in just on Amazon itself, like this is huge to know if your newsletters or your Facebook ads or whatever you're using links on are actually converting. Now look, I have said this before and I'm going to say this again. I do not believe that you get correct information from Amazon. I do not believe that they are forthcoming. I do not believe that they give all of the data. They should, but they don't. And I think that that's unfortunate, but there's nothing we can do about it. So what do I recommend you do? Yes, and Amazon attribution links are available, just like affiliate links are. However, I do like the Amazon attribution links because you can actually note a trend. You can spot a trend. Yes, it is. The attrition rate is like 7 days, 14 days. I've seen it as far behind as 21 days. It's frustrating as crap. I get it. It's really frustrating. However, it does give you some information. So again, I don't rely on it, but this is how I calculate my conversion rates for mine and for clients who are using attribution link data. So again, Amazon attribution is just a tool. It's just a tool. It's just a tool. It gives you insights on what is working, what's not on non-Amazon marketing channels. Okay, so here we go. To calculate your Amazon attribution link, you're going to need to access your Amazon attribution dashboard. Here's how we're going to do this. You're going to go into, this is a standard dashboard that you see when you log into your AMS account. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to see all of these awesome tools pop up, and you're going to look for measurement and reporting. Inside of that, you're going to have Amazon attribution. Now, these drop-down menus are new. They used to be a pop-out thing, so you might still have the pop-out option. What you're looking for is Amazon attribution. Then you're going to click that and go in there. Once in there, you're going to, and I do have this blurred out, you don't need to know this information. You're going to look for your own. We're not talking about how to create campaigns, ad groups, anything like that. What we're talking about is attribution tags today and how to calculate them. So we're going to go into the campaigns and we're going to look up, and I'm just going to show you how to calculate this using a calculator. Are you ready? You will also have the screen, I'll put a screenshot up of what the calculation itself looks like, but it's really, really easy. Let me pull up my calculator so you can see it. And here we go. We're going to simply assume that for a page read right here, we're going to use this list right here. Again, this is blurred out. You don't need to know that information. All we're doing is looking strictly at these numbers right here. So for instance, let's start with 34747. That's going to be the page reads for a KEMP read. This is for Kindle Unlimited books. Again, this does not give you the full-on accurate information of what you need because it is assuming, this is us assuming when we make that calculations that they are reading fully all the way through. This is not accurate, okay? We know it's not accurate. As authors, we know that readers do not read through all the way through, especially within a 7-day time period. They just don't. So we might have a couple, but making the assumption that that's what we're doing, we already are introducing a fallacy into our calculations. But that's okay because we're working with the assumption that if we at least can break it down by page reads, then we can kind of assume how many books have been purchased or downloaded. In the instance of KU, we know that it takes a lot more downloadings to get to the page reads. So here's what we're going to look at. So let's assume that this book is 200 pages. So we're going to take the KEMP page reads and we're going to divide it by 200. Then we have 68.7. We're going to add the number of purchases. There are no purchases sold on this one, and that's okay. So that would mean that this is the number that we're going to use. I would leave it at 68.7 or round it up to 68.9. Then you're going to divide that by the click-throughs, not the DPV. You're going to click that through the click-throughs. Okay, that gives us and then you're going to take this number. So after you've done that, then you're going to take this number and times it by 100. That is actually going to be a 17.2% conversion rate on that link in the last 31 days. Okay, this is why this is so important. you need to also understand that the conversion rate is simply supposed to be talking about how many downloads or purchases were made from that specific link. Okay, so let's go on the assumption that out of 13,747 page reads, maybe even 100 of them were just downloads and they've only read a couple pages and they haven't even had a chance to read the book. That conversion rate goes up drastically. So anytime I'm talking about conversion rates, it's usually going to be in the sense of so if I was talking like this, 17.2% plus, 17.2 plus percent. It means that I'm assuming that's the rock bottom number and anything else is above that. So this is actually pretty astronomical. So let's go to another one and we're going to do the exact same thing, same assumption on page length. Let's look at 1755. Again, this is page reads. We're going to divide that by 200. And now if your books are longer, divide it by 300. If you know what the exact number is, then use that. I'm just going off of assumptions. 8.775 plus 3, because I have purchases. I do not go by units sold. I go by purchases. Plus 3. Then this number is going to be divided by the 73. This gives us, again, remember to times it by 100. And this gives us a 16% plus conversion rate. Okay, these numbers are pretty great. Let's see if we can find one that's lower, that we can actually show what the actual industry standard is. So 9,084 divided by 200. And we're going to plus the 16. See this right here? Okay. And then we're going to divide this number by this number, 3291. This is actually going to give us a more accurate number. Remember to times it by 100 to get us a percentage. So this is 1.866. So this actual conversion rate is 1.86 plus. Remember, it is not the accurate number. So it's most likely going to be like, I bet this number is more like 6 or 7 or 8%. But because it's 1.8, we're going to assume that it's within like a couple percentages up. It's not going to be down because we have accounted for any possibility that this is the rock bottom number. I like if it's at least 1% or higher. I have seen it at 8%. Again, this depends on where like a 0.8%. Again, this depends on like what your read through is and like if it's a brand new testing audience or whatever. And you have to remember at the 7 days, you're still getting just the first day's data. Then on 8 days, you're getting day 2's data in there. Does it make sense? Like it's 7 days out. So even on day 9, day 10, day 11, you're still not getting an entire week's worth of messages. So that's something to keep in mind as you are going forward and you're like trying to calculate out your attribution links. The data is really simple and easy to follow. If it was me, I'd be doubling down on wherever those audiences were for those higher rates. Even the 1.8 is really good, and I would recommend continuing to move forward. Now, if you were going to go into an audience or into a group, an ad group, where you have multiple links in there, you can actually figure out which one has the better conversion rate and then utilize all of the data from that one. I want you just to keep in mind, when you calculate your conversions, you are just giving yourself another tool to see just how great you're doing. Okay, guys, I hope you're doing great. We've got a lot of things coming up. I know you have a lot of things going on as well. Thank you so much to those of you who have given us a chance on the courses that we're offering, as well as HiveMind, and just joining us on this crazy ride of trying to make our words impact other people. And I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about because you create worlds too. Please click subscribe and the notification button to make sure you don't miss anything from Finding Your Indie. And we look forward to seeing you on the flip side.